There is a kind of pain that does not belong to you. You did not choose it, you did not create it, but somewhere along the way you picked it up and started carrying it like it was yours. Most people never realize this is happening. They just know something feels endlessly heavy. Clara spent 30 years trying to fix her mother. Every phone call ended with her apologizing for something she did not do. Every holiday left her lying awake, replaying conversations, wondering what she could have said differently. Psychologists call this enmeshment. It is what happens when the boundary between your emotions and someone else's emotions completely disappears. You feel their sadness as your own failure, and the more you give, the more invisible you become. David had a best friend who was slowly destroying himself, and David was there for every moment of it, answering calls at 2 in the morning, rearranging his own life to manage someone else's chaos. Researchers who study codependency describe how helping can quietly become controlling without ever feeling that way from the inside. The moment David stopped managing his friend's consequences, something unexpected happened. His friend hit his lowest point and finally asked for real help.
Lena was not carrying anyone dramatic. She was just always the one people leaned on, the friend who listened, the daughter who stayed calm, the person who absorbed the tension so everyone else could breathe. Neuroscience tells us that the brain of someone in a chronic caretaking role can mirror the stress patterns of the person they are caring for. The body keeps a record of what the mind tries to ignore.
What connects all three of them is something almost invisible. None of them were weak or naive. They were unusually empathetic, unusually responsible, and that is exactly what made them vulnerable. Empathy is one of the most powerful forces in human connection, but when it has no boundary between feeling with someone and feeling for someone at the cost of yourself, it becomes a form of slow erosion. The letting go that changed things for each of them was not dramatic or cold. It looked like Clara answering her mother's call and not apologizing for things that were not her fault. It looked like David sitting with the discomfort of not knowing how his friend was doing. It looked like Lena taking the weekend for herself without writing a 3-paragraph explanation. Small, quiet, revolutionary acts. Letting go is consistently misunderstood. People imagine it as abandonment, as indifference, as shutting a door and locking it forever. But every credible framework in psychology and philosophy describes something far more subtle. It is the act of releasing your grip on an outcome you were never actually controlling, and trusting that people carry the capacity to handle what is truly theirs.
Human beings are wired for connection, and feeling distress at another person's suffering is not a flaw. It is ancient, encoded into your nervous system for hundreds of thousands of years. But the same world that wired you for empathy also gave you an inner life, your own unfinished becoming. When you spend all your energy inside someone else's experience, that inner life does not disappear cleanly. It waits, quietly accumulating everything you kept putting off. The people who learn to stop suffering for others do not become less caring. They become more present. They stop performing concern and start offering something richer, a kind of love that does not need the other person to change in order to feel okay. What they find on the other side of letting go is not emptiness, it is themselves. And that is perhaps the most quietly revolutionary thing a person can do. Not to love less, but to finally stop confusing your exhaustion with your worth. Some weights were never yours to carry. Putting them down is not giving up. It is finally arriving.